Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshuranmritam Yanam Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sabarantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padagavanam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagarajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vanchakalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Cha Paritanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Rama Rama Hare Hare. So there are different names of deity worship. In English, basically, we say deity worship or worship of the Lord. In Sanskrit or Hindi, there are many names. Like, for example, we say Archan or Archanam. Archanam is a name of deity worship in Sanskrit. So it is nice to know these names. And for those who want to do the test, it is good to know some of these names. That is important. And then another name is Nitya Seva. So Nitya Seva, Nitya, the meaning of Nitya is daily. Nitya means daily, or Nitya also means eternally. And that is the daily worship which is going on. That is known as Nitya Seva. Also, because actually it is according to the pastimes of the Lord. Because Krishna in the temple is none different from Krishna in Golok Vrindavan. So the seva in the temple is according to also Krishna's pastimes in the spiritual world. That we will explain later on as we go on with the seminar. So therefore it is known as Nitya Seva. Like the pastimes of Krishna in the eternal realm, in Golok Vrindavan, they are known as Nitya Leela, the pastimes which are continuously going on, also known as Ashtakalya Leela, which is divided in 8 parts during the day and night. And whereas the pastimes which are sometimes happening of Krishna, also when Krishna is coming to this world, they are known as Naimitika Leela. Like Krishna is taking birth. In Goloka is not taking birth because Krishna is eternal. Even when Krishna is coming to this world, not like a normal human being, like we have to take birth. But Krishna is appearing, therefore we not say only the birth of Krishna, but the appearance of Krishna. He appeared by his own sweet will. And then Krishna killing some demons, Krishna going to Mathura, these are known as Naimitika Leela. These pastimes which are sometimes happening. And the seva to the Lord which is sometimes happening, that is known as Naimitika Seva. Like for example, we are observing once in a year Krishna Janmashtami, the appearance of Krishna. And then for example, we have Julan Leela, the swing festival, that is once a year we observe that, just before Balaram's appearance day. So these are known as Naimitika Seva, the Seva which is sometimes happening. Yes?
What do we do if we have trouble spelling these words?
If you have trouble spelling these words, you try your best, and then afterwards we can help you. Okay? Yes. So after the class you can ask me if the spelling is right. Okay? Yes, for those who are not familiar with Sanskrit. So another word for the worship of the Lord that is known as Archa Vigraha Seva, Archa Vigraha or Murti Seva. Archa Vigraha, so Vigraha, that means the form of the Lord, that is the Deity which we are worshipping. That is known as Archa Vigraha or Murti. So that is known as Archa Vigraha Seva or Murti Seva. Worshipping the personal form of the Lord, which is made of different elements. Because we cannot see Krishna in the beginning, so Krishna is appearing in a form which we can see. By his own sweet will and by the mercy of the spiritual master. Another name for deity worship that is known as Paricharya. Paricharya or Charya. That means the service of the deity in the temple. So in Sanskrit, for one object, for example, or one activity, there may be many words. So like here in deity worship, so many names for the worship of the Lord. That is the richness of the Sanskrit language. Another name for deity worship is Aradhanam, the worship. And one more name is there that is known as Pancha Anga Puja. Puja. Puja means also worship. Pancha Anga, 5 limbs. Pancha Anga Puja. That will give a complete picture of the worship. That we will explain in the next few days, Pancha Anga Puja. So Srila Rupa Goswami, in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion, he has given 64 limbs of devotional service. 64 limbs, anga, of devotional service. How we can worship the Lord. And the first, anyone knows what is the first limb of devotional service? Yes? Guru Pad Ashray, very good. So taking shelter of the spiritual master. Without the mercy of the spiritual master, you can never worship Krishna. And then he's explaining what to do and what not to do. And so the interesting point is, of the 64 limbs of devotional service, more than half, maybe almost 40, that pertains actually to the worship of the Lord in the temple. So from this we can understand how important is deity worship. And there also Rupa Goswami is explaining, in the 64 limbs, he is explaining about Nava Vida Bhakti. The 9 limbs of devotional service, as explained also by Prahlad Maharaj, who had spoken actually to, of course, his friends and even his father. And he has explained Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Parasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmani Vedanam. So there, Archanam is mentioned. And then hearing, chanting, and of course Prabhupada gave a very nice purport to this verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, explaining the importance of first hearing. First we have to hear very nicely. As Prabhupada himself said, because I heard very nicely, therefore now I can speak. So we hear about Krishna, we hear about devotional service, we hear about worshipping the deities. And then we may be able to practice, to do, and then we may be able to tell that to others. And then we can remember actually the Lord. And then we can properly worship. And specifically also Prabhupada said in the deity worship, in Archanam, deity worship starts when the devotee is completely absorbed in hearing and speaking and remembering the Lord. Hearing about the Lord, speaking about the Lord and remembering the Lord. And then one can properly worship the deities. And then Rupa Goswami at the end of of the explanation of the 64 limbs is explaining 5 most important limbs of devotional service, which Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself explained. As mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita by Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, Pancha Mahatapurna Ang, the 5 most important limbs of devotional service. And then again there we have deity worship. Priti Purvak Murti Seva. Murti Seva, deity worship. Priti Purvak, with love. Priti means with love and affection. You have to worship the deities. And then the other limbs which are important, most important, again there he has mentioned, that is sadhu sangha, the association of the devotees. Without the association of the devotees, it is, especially in the beginning stage, it is not possible to advance. And specifically we need the association of the advanced devotees, the spiritual master, the pure devotees. Then we can more easily advance. Furthermore, he is explaining Bhagavat Katha Shravan, Svajatya Bhakta Bhagavat Shravan. So we should listen on the Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore Prabhupada introduced daily recitation of the Bhagavatam so that we can hear the Bhagavatam. That is very important. Sufficient hearing must be there. Then Krishna will be established in the heart. And then we can properly worship the deities, we can properly execute devotional service. Bhagavat Shravan. And also he has mentioned Dhamvas, residing in the holy place. That is very conducive for making advancement in spiritual life. Of course, it is not possible for everyone to stay in the holy dham. But therefore Prabhupada explained we should try to come regularly to the holy dham. That will very much help one to advance in spiritual life. And then Prabhupada is explaining also in several places and quoting also from the Nectar of Devotion. One verse is there that we should Krishna smanam janam chasya nija prishtam samitam tattakatara chasya sakuryadvasam vraja sada. Is explaining that we should always try to remember Krishna. But not only Krishna, also Krishna's associates. And we should discuss about their pastimes. And one should reside in Braj. And then Prabhupada is writing, if not physically, then mentally. So wherever we are, we should try to remember the holy place. Then we can properly chant, then we can properly worship the deities. And so when we are doing that properly, the hearing is proper, and then if we do some deity worship, then we are residing in a holy place actually. Because, for example, if you have some deities, wherever you are, if you have Radha Krishna, then you are practically just like in Braj. And if you're chanting properly the holy names, then you're actually also in a holy place. Because Krishna and Krishna Nama are not different. And where is Krishna residing? Krishna is always in Braj. So if you're properly chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. If you're properly chanting Hare Krishna, then you are in Braj, you are in a holy place. And therefore Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, he explained, without Dham Seva, no Nam Seva. If you are not connected to the holy Dham, so Dham Seva means to serve the holy Dham, but even remembering the holy Dham, trying to do something for the holy Dham, for those in the holy Dham. So then you can do anyway, wherever you are you can try, or even saying Jai Vrindavan Dham, Jai Kar. If you just say the name of Vrindavan Dham, then you are actually already glorifying the holy Dham, and in this way you are serving the holy Dham. Therefore, after every class or after every kirtan in the temple, we have Prema Dvani prayers. Jaya Dvani, Jaikar, Jai, Jayam Vishnupad, Srila Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta, and then Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Mayapur Navadip Dham Ki Jai. This Jaikar is very powerful. By doing that, you are connected to the Dham. So wherever you are, so if you're following the process nicely, given by Prabhupada, by the previous acharyas, then you can very nicely advance. Then Dhamvas will be there. But the most important of all the limbs is, what is most important limb? No, not Guparasha. In the beginning it is, but then afterwards, chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So chanting the holy names is most important. And everything actually we are doing, that if you're doing properly, that will help us to nicely chant Hare Krishna. Like even worshipping the deities. In the beginning we cannot see Krishna while we are chanting. We're chanting and we are connected to some extent with Krishna, but we cannot see Krishna. But by seeing the deities every day, by worshipping the deities, by cultivating this loving exchange with the deity, then while we chant, then Krishna may manifest. We can more easily realize that Krishna and Krishna Nama are not different. So therefore deity worship is very important. So therefore all the devotees, they should engage in deity worship every day without fail. And we can see therefore the acharyas, they have established deity worship. Wherever you go, temple is there, ashram is there. What is an ashram? The place where the devotees are living, and what they're doing in the ashram, they're worshipping Krishna. And even the householder, where they are staying, grihasta ashram, grihasta. The grihasta means grihasta. Griha means the house, sta one who stays in a house. But that house is not just normal house, it is an ashram. What is an ashram? That is a place where one is engaging in spiritual activities. So everyone has to worship the deities, the brahmacharis, the grihastas, even the sannyasis. Those who want to enter sannyas ashram in the future, maybe not many, but still, there's a process of doing the ceremony of entering the sannyas ashram. So one of the processes is there as archanam is there, worshipping the deity, Vishnu archanam, even for the sannyasis. And they are there, they have to set the example, so they have to do they must know about deity worship. Because they have to teach then also. And even the preachers, those who are going distribution of books or making life members or preaching, to whom they are preaching, mostly to grihastas. So they have to know about deity worship. So they may tell them how to worship the deities, the householders. So this is very, very important aspect of devotional life. And so throughout his books, Prabhupada is explained, and even in the Vedic literatures it is explained. Basically there are two paths, marg. One is known as Pancharatrik Vidhi Marg, and the other one is known as Bhagavad Vidhi Marg. Pancharatrik Vidhi then means following the rules and regulations of the scriptures and also worshipping the Lord. And then there is Bhagavad Vidhi. Bhagavad Vidhi means the spontaneous execution of devotional service based on hearing and chanting about Krishna or about Mahaprabhu. But the acharyas have explained we should actually adopt both processes. We must worship the deities and we must chant, and we must hear and chant about the Lord. Both have to go on hand in hand. Or just like when you have a train, the train is there running on 2 tracks. 2 tracks are there. So also in devotee's life, we have to be conversant with deity worship, and then we have to, and then on the daily basis, we have to be engaged in some sort of deity worship. For example, everyone has to go for Mangalatik. In the temple or at home, a Mangalatik should be there. And that is required. Seeing the early morning, seeing the deity. In the temple or at home. If one is staying far from the temple, then Prabhupada said at home the devotees have to do a spiritual program starting with Mangalatik, this auspicious artik in the morning. So seeing the deity or the picture of the Lord and doing a simple worship, like in the temple offering incense and so on. At home you may also do, but there, even there, it is most important is to glorify the Lord. Therefore, we see in the temples usually that there's kirtan is going on in the temple. Like Prabhupada wanted in our temple, 24-hour kirtan for the pleasure of the Lord, because that is most pleasing to the Lord. When the devotees are glorifying Him, when they are chanting the holy names. And it is mentioned, for example, the pujari is there, he is offering the artik. And anyone who is taking part in the Mangalatik, who is there, offering obeisances to the Lord, and then even before entering the temple, you're supposed to make some noise, knocking on the door, or ringing the bell, or do Jai Sisi Gonitai Sisi Krishnavam Sisi Radha Shamasundar, and then you may enter the temple. So that is one of the limbs of devotional service, and that is actually one of the activity of deity worship. And then staying for Mangalatik, you will get the same benefit as the pujari who is offering Mangalatik. You will get the same benefit. That is explained in the scriptures. If you are attentively attending the Mangalatik and if you are singing, glorifying the Lord in the temple. Also, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 11th canto, Krishna himself, he explained about deity worship to his dear devotee Uddhav. Uddhav is a cousin brother of Krishna. I was staying in Dwarka with Krishna, and he was Pradhan Mantri. He was the Prime Minister of Krishna, and he was very, very intelligent and learned. So many times Krishna was asking his advice. Of course, Krishna knows everything, but still, in ordinary dealings, sometimes Krishna had to be a little diplomatic as a king also, and then he had to take the advice. He was asking the advice from Uddhav, what should I do now? So, Uddhav, because he's such an exalted devotee, he understood that Krishna is about to leave the planet. Therefore he approached Krishna and asked him, my dear Lord, I know you're going to wind up your pastimes here, you're going to leave the planet. So, but what will happen to me? Already I'm feeling separation from you. What will happen to me when you're leaving? Please give me some instructions, so I may be able to continue with my devotional life even after your disappearance. So, the 11th canto, almost the whole 11th canto is about Krishna's instructions to Uddhav. There may be 25 chapters and 20 chapters are Krishna's instructions to Uddhav about different subject matters, about Vana Ashram, the 4 Vanas, 4 Ashrams. So many instructions are there. And also about deity worship. Actually, one full chapter is only about deity worship. He's explaining to Uddhav how to worship the deities. And there he has explained from beginning, that we will explain the next days also, how the deity worship is being performed from morning, early morning till late at night. And there is explaining which seva is most important. That you should also know, the most important seva is after Mangalatik. That is the most important seva, that is the Abhishek, that is the bathing ceremony of the deities, and the dressing of the deities, Shringar Seva. Abhishek evam Shringar Seva. These are most important and most dear to Krishna, most pleasing. Krishna himself explained to Uddhav. Another name for that is Sodasa Upachar Puja. That we will explain also, maybe day after tomorrow, in more elaborately. And it is mentioned in the scriptures, so throughout the day you may offer so many items. They are known as upachar. Upachar means an item which you are offering to Krishna. Just like incense, you are offering incense. That is one upachar. Another upachar is you are offering ghee lamps. Another upachar you are offering flowers. So there may be 64 which you may offer from morning till evening in elaborate worship. But the one which is most important, the bathing and the dressing of the deities, which we will explain more elaborately, that is known as 16 articles puja, Sodasopachar. 16 articles are mentioned. And in the Vedic literatures, as explained, Priti Purvak Murti Seva. We may offer so many items, but what is most important is actually that we do with love and affection, that we do with the proper consciousness, that we do with the proper mood. Krishna is known as Bhava Grahi Janardhan. Janardhan, another name for Krishna. Bhava Grahi. Bhav means the mood, Grahi is accepting the mood of the devotee. One time, just before the battle between the Pandavas and the Kauravas, so Duryodhana, he wanted to take Krishna's favor, and he wanted Krishna to help him, although he was against the Pandavas. And that is well known. And then one time he therefore invited Krishna to come to his palace, and he had everything ready to worship Krishna. Externally, he had prepared some nice offering of foodstuffs, and he had all the paraphernalia for worshipping Krishna. But what was missing? The bhav, the love for Krishna or Krishna's devotees. He was inimical towards Krishna's devotees. So therefore Krishna didn't go to him. He passed by his palace, and even Duryodhana told him, "You come to my place, I have everything ready." He said, "No, I'm not going to your place. I'm going to my devotee's place, Vidur." And he went to Vidur's house, and Vidur was living, of course, in a more simple house. He was Brahmanically inclined, and he was a great devotee of Krishna and helping the Pandavas also. And so at that point when Krishna came to his place, he didn't have so much to offer, but he had love to offer, which is most important. And then when Krishna came there, he offered him an asan to sit, and it is mentioned, some say that his wife was making some porridge to offer. And some say actually she had some bananas also. And because of love, so she was so much absorbed. I'm so happy, oh, Krishna is coming to my house, I'm so fortunate. then she was peeling the bananas. And usually we peel the bananas, we give the bananas to eat. So because she was so much absorbed and becoming transcendently bewildered, she gave the banana peel to Krishna. And because she was doing with love, and tears were coming from her eyes, the Krishna accepted the banana peel and ate the banana peel. But then Vidur saw and he was saying, "My dear Lord, this is the banana peel." And he chastised his wife, "Why are you giving Krishna the banana peel?" And she was, oh my God, yes, I was just bewildered. So Krishna is accepting the bhav more than just the article. That is an important point to remember also. So the proper consciousness should be there. And one who is worshipping the deities, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so he must be a devotee, a Vaishnav. And the Vaishnav is supposed to be more exalted even the Brahmanas. And what are the Brahmanas doing? The Brahmanas are studying the scriptures and they're performing the various activities for the Brahmanas. They're studying, they're teaching, they're worshipping the Lord, they're teaching that to others. They have proper behavior, acharan, sadachar. And so they are teaching also, prachar. So, therefore the devotees, all the devotees, they should try to come to Brahmanical platform and studying the scriptures and trying to give the knowledge to others. And whatever they learn, they should try to give to others. And that is actually required. It is mentioned in scriptures, we should do everything for Krishna's pleasure. Krishnendriya priti, and not Atmendriya priti or tripti. Not for our own pleasure, but for Krishna's pleasure. And we should be engaged not only for our well-being, but we should be engaged in the well-being of others. Sarva bhute hite rataha. The devotees, they should try to help others. Act for the welfare of others. And if one is in this proper consciousness, then one can worship the deities in a simpler way also. And Krishna will be satisfied. Is that clear? Yes? So just a few minutes ago I explained about the different names of deity worship. One of the names was Pancha Anga Puja. Pancha Anga Puja. Pancha Anga. Panch means five, Anga means limbs. Puja means the worship of the Lord. Like the pujari, one who is worshipping the Lord. So puja may be referring to any kind of worship of the Lord from morning till evening. So that is then the pujari who is doing puja. But then the main puja, the main worship, that is after Mangalatik, as I explained that, as we will explain tomorrow or day after. So in the book that you can look up, I will just explain, but it is mentioned there on page number 7. Pancha Anga Puja, the 5 aspects of worship. So that is important to know. So like for example, when we have a test, then I expect the students to know that. Pancha Anga Puja, the 5 limbs, you should know what it is. That we will explain now. And so it is important for you to know that, and so you can look in the book also, and I will explain. Because, yes, if somebody has then a certificate, and then if you go somewhere and then they will ask where from you got the certificate, or from Vrindavan Dham, so then it is expected that you know the basics of what I have told. So therefore usually we have a small test, so then I will tell you what you must know. So then you can have a certificate, and then if anybody is asking, what you have learned there in Vrindavan in this deity worship seminar, you should be able to say what is most important. So therefore I'm telling you what is most important, so that you can learn and you remember. And that will be for your benefit when you're learning, when you're writing down. So when you memorize. And that is a kind of samskar. That samskar means purificatory rite, or it means an impression, that will give an impression. The first name of this Panchanga Puja is known as Abhigaman. Abhigaman, now going to the temple, approaching the temple. In the morning, Prabhuji, what is your name? Vishal. Okay, Vishal. Vishal, big, right? Vishal is the name of Krishna also. And one of Krishna's friends, of course Sanskrit is Dirgha Vishnu, big Vishnu. Vishal special also, Vishesh. So there's one devotee also, even one of the sakas of Krishna is Vishal. And one Prabhupada's disciple is also Vishal. Vishal Das, very well known. Now he's older. So what do you do the first thing in the morning? When you're getting up, the alarm clock is ringing, or maybe the mobile, and maybe you're putting on snooze, right? 2 minutes more or 5 minutes more. But ultimately then you have to get up, right? So what do you do when you're getting up? First thing you do in the morning when you're getting up? What? Guru Pranam Mantra. Okay. And then you offer your obeisances. Yes, very good. First thing what we should do when we get up in the morning, we have to respect to the spiritual master. And even further on, we should actually offer respect to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and to Krishna, our Ishtadev, Prananath, the Lord of our life. So that is Mahaprabhu and Krishna usually. So therefore we remember Guru, Gauranga and Krishna after getting up. And in this connection there's one nice verse which you can learn, which is helpful. You can, when you get up, you can recite this verse, or before taking rest again, we should remember Guru, Gauranga and Krishna. Or sometimes we have to be focused, or sometimes you have to speak somewhere for 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and then in order to remember Guru, Gauranga and Krishna, we can say this verse. So I can repeat the verse, I can say the verse, and then you can repeat also after me, and then you can write it down also. That is a famous verse amongst the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So I will say there's 4 lines that is known as Anushtup. Anushtup meter, just like Bhagavad Gita verse, Anushtup. Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. So everyone is included in this one verse. So Namo Namaha, obeisances. Gurave, unto the spiritual master. Or the previous acharyas also, one's guru and then his guru. And then Gaura Chandraya. Gaura Chandra, that is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gurave Gaura Chandraya. And then Radhikayai Tadalaye. Radhikayai unto Srimati Radharani. And then Tadalaye, alai means actually the abode. Like we have Bhojanalai, Sauchalai, Shainalai. So when we take rest, where we eat the bhoga, going to the bathroom. Alai means a place where we do certain activities. Tadalai means Radharani's abode, that means Vrindavan Dham or Varshana where she was staying. And then included her associates are there. And then Krishnaya unto Krishna. Krishna Bhaktaya unto Krishna's devotees. And then Tad Bhaktaya, unto the devotees of Krishna, Namo Namaha, we offer obeisances. So that is a very beautiful verse which you can learn. So in the first thing of the morning, you remember Guru, Gauranga and Krishna. And then, yes, I can repeat one more time. Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikayai Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. So wonderful verse. And actually, those who want to take a test, it's nice if you learn this verse, and they will get full marks for the test. What's that?
It's written outside.
It's written outside, yes. It is written outside, yes, right. Yes, so before you enter, maybe tomorrow, just to make sure that you got it right, you can read it outside. It is written in Sanskrit for the Hindi-speaking devotees, and then they can learn, and for the others, transliteration is there, so you can read. Roman transliteration as Prabhupada did. Yes.
Is there a reference from
What's that?
a reference?
A reference? Sometimes there's no reference. So some wonderful Vaishnav wrote that verse, and then another wonderful Vaishnav collected that. And that Vaishnav gave it to everyone. There's one book by Rupa Goswami that is known as Padyavali. And there are maybe 300 wonderful verses which Rupa Goswami liked. And there maybe, and then in these 300 verses, he is always writing, it is written by this devotee, it is written by that devotee, but maybe almost half of the verses is writing, author is unknown. Who wrote the verse, he didn't know also. But because he liked the verse, and he was seeing that it is properly written, and there is no rasabhas, no overlapping of mellow, so he accepted these verses. So this verse is accepted by all the Vaishnavas, Gaudiya Vaishnavas. But who wrote it? Because the devotees are humble. They write something, and they will not write, I wrote that verse. They will not say, I composed that verse. Many times they're humble. They write something, and then others they will see, but they will say, no, don't tell my name that I wrote. Like that. So therefore many times the verses are there, but we don't know who said this verse. So this one also nobody knows who wrote the verse, but it is accepted by all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Yes. The book Padyavali by Rupa Goswami. Yes. When we wake up, yes, you can chant this mantra. And then night time, before taking rest, you can chant this mantra also. And in between, when you feel lost, when you feel that, Maya is so strong, what to do, then you chant, you fold your hands and you chant Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye. So very helpful. I chant that verse every day at least 3-4 times. If I have to do some ceremony, because I'm a priest also, I do some yagyas, marriage ceremony, or the ceremonies, especially marriage ceremony, which is a little longer. And then so many people there, you have to focus. Many times I chant during the ceremony also that mantra, just to be focused. So we are still at the first limb, Abhigama, now going to the temple. So we offer the obeisances. And then it is mentioned in scriptures, what is most important? Smartavya satatam Vishnu vismartavya najatuchit sarva vidhi nishedasyor etayor kinkaraha. That is a verse from the Padma Purana, explaining that what we should do. We should always remember Vishnu or Krishna. And what we should not do? What we should not do? Forget him. And then sarva vidhi nisheda. There are so many things which is explained in the scriptures. Even our acharyas, what to do. That is known as vidhi, the rules and regulations which we have to follow. Like in getting up early in the morning, taking a bath, eating only Krishna prasadam. So we have to follow the rules. And nishad, what we should not do. That is important. Like, for example, we should not smoke, we should not drink. That is nishad, prohibition. But the most important of all the injunctions of what we should do, that is to always remember Vishnu. And what we should not do, we should not forget him. So therefore, after getting up, so we should try to remember Krishna. But it is not so easy. Therefore, what do? We chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And then we have to brush our teeth, we have to go to the bathroom, and then we have to take a bath. And you can see in India, all the brahmanas, when they're taking bath, I've personally seen. One time I went to Mathura in one brahmana's house, and then while taking bath, they will always chant one mantra. Om apavitra pavitra va sarvavastam kadopi va yasmaret pundarikaksham sabhaya bhyantara suchihi. So that mantra may be chanted. It is good, also a good mantra to learn. The meaning is that in whatever state you are, if you are not so purified state, or sometimes you are going somewhere, or even the pujari, for example, when he is worshipping the deities, he should be clean and then he can go, that is explained here, to the temple. But sometimes on the way somebody may touch him and we don't know if he took bath, and then at that time we can chant this mantra, because we cannot again take bath. So the meaning is, whatever state we are in, if we are remembering Vishnu or Krishna, who has very beautiful eyes, the eyes are just like lotus petals, pundarikaksha. So when we remember Krishna, Krishna's beautiful form, then we become cleansed inside and outside. But still, when we get up, even if you remember Krishna, still we have to take a bath. And then we have to put on clean cloth. And then we go towards the temple in purified consciousness. And then it is possible to properly worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is transcendently situated. Krishna is beyond the material world. His form is eternal, full of bliss and knowledge. Satchidananda Sarup. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. Nirmal Purush. So he's nirmal, he is without any mal, without any contamination. Whereas in the material world, every conditioned soul is contaminated, the consciousness. But Krishna is always transcendental, pure, not affected by modes of material nature. So in order to approach him, in order to serve him, we have to come to the transcendental platform. Then we can really worship him. Then we can really serve him. And then there's a loving exchange there. So that is the first limb, that is known as Abhigaman. Preparing oneself to go to the temple and worshipping the Lord. And in the temple, actually whenever you are serving the deities in the temple, you must be clean, physically and the cloth also. For example, the pujari in the evening has to go on the altar. So he cannot wear the cloth which he was wearing since morning, and he has gone to the bathroom, he was eating with this cloth. No. They are known as muchidan. They are not clean, the cloth. So the devotee has to be suchi, the cloth has to be suchi, has to be clean, not muchi, not dirty. The suchi and muchi. Suchi means clean, muchi is dirty. So we should be suchi, clean. And so therefore the devotees who are doing seva in the temple, they have to take bath a few times a day, usually. And they have to have clean cloth always for worshipping the deities. At home it may not be practical, but at least in the morning one should be clean for doing the main seva. But let's say, for example, in the daytime, at home, and then in the evening, for the family members, sometimes it is not practical. Visitors are there, the children are there, and one has to take care of them, then it may not be practical to take bath so many times. In that case, one may just do achman, one will chant some mantra for purification. And again, this mantra may be chanted Gurave Gaura Chandraya Oma Pavitra Pavitrava, and then we may worship the Lord at home, of offering the bhoga and then maybe also doing artik. So at home, the rules are not so strict as in the temple, but we should do as good as possible. We have to try to do at home also. And it is good to know what is the highest, the best method of the worship, the purest form, and then we try to do as good as possible at home. But usually it is not possible to do just like the temple. Like in the temple they have 6 offerings, 7 offering, and 6 artik, and then the puja is there. So that we cannot do at home, mostly. Not possible. At home, a householder may do 1 time, 2 times, or at the most 3 times they may do an offering. More will be difficult. When is the time to eat at home, then they will offer bhoga, and then they will eat, to do something extra difficult. But in the temple, we have to have 6 offerings in the big temple, and then the puja, which also has an offering, and small artik. So in the temple it is very elaborate, and a very high standard. At home it is more simple, and the standard is more simple, simplified. But the main thing again is the consciousness. That is important, that one has the proper consciousness. Sometimes you can see that, we have experience also, that sometimes the worship in the temple is very high in terms of the cleanliness and punctuality, but sometimes even some of the pujaris, they don't have the proper consciousness. Whereas somebody is at home, some householders have a simple standard, they cannot have a high standard, but a very good consciousness is there. Thinking, oh, I'm so insignificant, I'm a fallen Vaishnav householder. But if he's just very humble and trying to worship the Lord will be satisfied. But basically, so in order to approach the Lord, someone has to be in purified consciousness. One has to approach the deities in a pure way. So that is the first limb, abhigaman. Second is known as upadan. Upadan means gathering the articles for the worship. That is on page 8. So for example, we have to do now Mangalatik. So but before the artik, there's usually in the temple there's an offering of bhoga. First there's bhoga, and then there's the artik is performed throughout the day. At home again, it may not be possible to have a Mangal Bhog offering of so many sweets like we do in our temple. We have Rasgula, Rasmalai, Sandesh, Burfi, Kheer. Before Mangalati, Krishna is eating nicely. At home, not possible. But at home you may just chant the prayers, which we chant in the temple also. So in the temple, so we have to make first the bhoga plate. We have to get the sweets, put on the plate, and then we have to prepare for the artik. We need the artik plate, and then we need incense, we need ghee lamp. So we have to gather all these items. And for the puja, for the bathing of the Lord, and the dressing, so we have to get the cloth, we have to get the garland, we have to get the flowers, so many things. And even, for example, we have to purchase the flowers, we have to purchase the grains, the fruits, the vegetables. So collecting all these items, which we will use in the service of the Lord, that is known as upadan. And that should be first class. Like we want to offer nice flowers which have fragrance. We want to offer the best rice to Krishna, basmati rice. Or nice fruits, fresh fruits, good vegetables. Everything should be first class, and the paraphernalia should be clean. The pujaris are daily, they're cleaning the paraphernalia. So everything has to be clean. Another point in the home, in the temple worship, Prabhupada said, 2 things are very important. One is cleanliness, and the other is punctuality. Everything has to be clean. So the paraphernalia is cleaned, and after every arti we're cleaning the altar. And in the morning, before dressing the deities, we're cleaning the altar. In the evening also, before doing the night, giving the night rest, we're cleaning the altar. And once a month we have a Maha cleanup. We clean the whole altar on top, in all the corners, the beds, everything is cleaned nicely. Because Krishna is pure. Pure means clean. So in order to be able to approach Krishna, so everything must be clean. That is explained in the literatures also. The 6 divisions of purity. 6 divisions of purity. So the stan shuddhi, the place should be clean, where we do the worship. Dravya shuddhi. Dravya means the articles which we are offering. They should be clean. And then we have the chitta shuddhi, the consciousness, the chitta. Cheto darpanam ajanam. Cheto, chitta. The consciousness has to be cleansed. And in this way, then when the consciousness is cleansed, then Atma Shuddhi will be there also. The soul as such will be in purified state. And then we can properly approach Paramatma, or the Supreme Being, Bhagavan. And then Mantra Shuddhi. So we are receiving the mantra from the spiritual master, mantra. So the mantra must be Shuddh, pure. What does it mean? So we must have the proper consciousness. We should chant the holy names without offenses. Aparada das aparad. We should know what are the 10 offenses, and we should chant the mantra, the Maha mantra, even the Gayatri mantra. Those who are having the Gayatri mantras, who have received, so they have to chant properly, avoiding any offenses. As it is explained, Dashaparad, 10 kinds of offenses towards the holy names. And with the proper consciousness we have to chant. So that mantra shuddhi has to be there. And we should try to learn the mantras properly and pronounce it nicely as far as possible. That is mantra shuddhi. And then murti shuddhi. The murti, the deities, they have to be bathed every day. The 2 kinds of murti, the small ones and the big one. Small ones, so they are known as Vijay Vigraha, Utsav Vigraha. We do the bathing ceremony for them. But the big deities, Mool Roop, so they are not bathed with water, but simply with a damp cloth we wipe the deities, and then with the dry cloth we dry them. So the purity is important, and do everything on time, punctuality. That is important. Prabhupada said, very important, punctuality and cleanliness. Because Prabhupada in the West, he saw that the people, they are quite punctual and it is quite clean. Like anyone has been in Switzerland? Who has been in Switzerland? Anyone has been in Switzerland? No? Okay, you have been in Switzerland, right? Yeah, I was born in Switzerland, so somehow. So there everything is very clean. Well, now it's a little less because there are many foreigners also coming there who are maybe not so clean, but previously, even now it is quite clean. And there are garbage bins, and everyone is putting the garbage in the garbage bin. Here in India, sometimes there's a garbage bin there and the people are throwing. Sometimes it's going in the garbage bin and sometimes not. Of course, the monkeys are there, they're taking the things out of the garbage bin. So it's a little difficult to keep the place clean, but it is good to be in a clean place. Like Switzerland is very clean, and going, everything is on time. Like there's a timetable for the train or the buses. At the minute they say the train will come at this time, 7:07, and leave 7:09. And the train is usually coming by the minute or maybe 1 minute late. But if you are in India, of course it is transcendental place, you go to the train station, I'm sorry to inform you, but the train is only 2 hours late. Tufan Express, Tufan means a whirlwind going very fast. But the Tufan Express going to Kolkata is always late. One time I went by Tufan Express, it was like 5 hours late from Matra, and reaching Kolkata like 10 hours late. No more Tufan Express. So in India it is quite common. Of course the distances are bigger. But Prabhupada saw that, in the West they are punctual, so he wanted the devotees to be punctual. And in the temple one time he came. I was not Hat Pujari at that time, that was before. But the Hat Pujari was there, he was doing the seva. And Prabhupada was there at 7:15 for darshan. And Prabhupada had the Swiss watch. Prabhupada had the Swiss watch, the best watches. And he was looking at the watch, 7:15, 7:16. Why the Pujari is not opening? And he called, where is the Hat Pujari? Bring him here. They brought the Hat Pujari. And he asked him, why are you not opening? Is it 7:17? Is it not open? 7:15 should be darshan, you should not be late 1 minute. And then he said, sorry Prabhupada. And he went, and then 1 minute later he opened. And the next day he was on time at 7:15. So Prabhupada wanted to be on time, and we are famous for that we are punctual and we are clean. So that was what Prabhupada wanted, and that is impressive. So Upadan, so everything has to be first class and clean and offered on time. That is the second. The third, that is known as yoga. Yoga means to connect, to link with the Lord. Like we're doing bhakti yoga, or there's karma yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga. So of course not everyone has the correct understanding. Like some of the jnanis, those who are studying the scriptures, they want to link with the absolute, but they think the absolute truth has no form. They want to merge with the personal Brahman. So, but that is not the right understanding of the ultimate understanding and the process of jnana yoga. So jnana means to study, jnana to acquire knowledge, and in order to make advancement in the spiritual life. And yoga means to link with the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And karma means those who are engaged in activities, and then they will offer the fruits of their activities to the Lord, but they are not able to fully surrender to Krishna. And Ashtanga Yoga, so these are usually the yogis who are doing the Ashtanga, so that is mentioned also, Yam Niyam, following rules and regulations, which we also have to do. Everyone has to do, even the Jnana yogis actually. We have to follow rules and regulations. And then we have Asan, sitting properly, sitting postures are there, so one can meditate properly. And then Pranayam, breathing, so that we can control the mind and the senses. And then Pratyahar, controlling the senses, withdrawing the senses from the sense objects. And then Dharana. So Dharana means to hold the form of the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, meditating on the form of the Lord, as mentioned in the revealed scriptures. And then Dhyan means absorption and the absolute truth. By practice, by hearing and thinking of the Lord, by practicing for many years, then one can become more and more absorbed. And ultimately Samadhi. And the intelligence is fully fixed on the absolute truth. So much absorbed that he may not be aware of the external happenings of this world. So the yogis, most of the yogis, they are meditating on the Paramatma, the super soul situated in everyone's heart. But the highest form of yoga, that is bhakti yoga, that is understanding that the highest understanding of the absolute truth is the personal aspect of the absolute truth, that is Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and serving Him for the pleasure of Krishna. Do what Krishna wants. Anyabhilasha dashunyam jnana karmanavritam anukulina Krishna nushilanam bhaktir uttamam. So doing everything as Krishna wants, not as we want. And then free from the desire to get some result from our activities, but simply doing everything for Krishna's pleasure. So that is bhakti yoga, doing it love and affection, priti purvak, everything. And so in the process of deity worship, so we are practicing bhakti yoga, but at the same time, so we may have the knowledge Krishna is God, we are not this body, we are spirit soul, we are serving Krishna, we know the process, but at the same time we know that the mind is very flickering. The intelligence is not fixed or steady, and the consciousness is not pure yet. So therefore, before worshipping the Lord, before approaching the Lord, you have to do this process of purification, which is known as yoga. That is trying to become established on the transcendental platform by chanting various mantras, by doing achman for purification. Everyone knows achman. You have an achman cup and you say Om Keshavaya Namaha, Om Narayana Namaha, and you sip water. So that is a simple way of purification known as Sadharan Achman. Sadharan means just the simple, ordinary Achman, but then there's a Vishesh Achman, special Achman, which is there for those who are worshipping the deities in the temple. They have to learn this Vishesh Achman. And then for purification they will chant many mantras, so in order to be firmly fixed on the transcendental platform, so they may be able to properly approach the Lord. So yoga, that is an important aspect. Trying to become established on the transcendental platform, and then we can properly serve the Lord. Then we can truly worship the Lord properly. So that is yoga. So that further we will explain. So the different mantras which may be chanted after Achman. Even on this page 8, you can see yoga is explained, and then Om Tad Vishnu, there is one mantra which you may chant. If you're doing a little seva, so the purification is simplified, but when you're doing the most important seva, that is the puja, then you have to do a little more for purification. That we will explain. Yes. This mantra? That is the mantra which is mentioned there. That is from the Rig Veda. The mantra from Rig Veda. So that is the mantra which we chant after doing Achman. Yeah. And Prabhupada, many times he actually quoted this verse in his lectures. It is a very well-known mantra. And because Prabhupada was very knowledgeable and he was worshipping deities also, so he knew this mantra, of course, and he was mentioning many times. It is a good mantra to learn. So in the temple, the devotee must learn that mantra. At home worship, if one is busy at home, has 2-3 children, one has to work, husband and wife have to work, and then one can not learn so many mantras. But one should actually know the process, and one should try to do the minimum, so that he may be able to properly serve the Lord, even at home, in a simplified way. So, but the consciousness, the knowledge has to be there. What is the proper system? Any other question? Yes. What's that? I should speak this mantra. Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Param Sada Pashyade Surya Divyavachaksho Radadam Tattve Prajavimanjavo Jagrivam Sa Samindare Vishnu Yat Paramam Padam. Okay? That is the way how it is chanted. Yes. Easy, right? Yeah. Very beautiful, yeah. Yeah, by practicing in the association with the devotees who know, then you can learn also. Yeah. So, therefore it is good to be in the association of the devotees who are knowledgeable, and you practice with them. So, for example, those who want to learn, those who want to go on the altar here in our temple, they must learn all the mantras, and then they can go on the altar. There's one devotee in the Deity department. He's here also, Gaurachandra. So he got second initiation just a few weeks ago. And then he told me, I can go now on the altar tomorrow and offer deep dan on the altar? Then I said, no, first you have to learn a few things, then you can go on the altar. So you have to learn this mantra, okay? Om Tad Vishnu. You know by heart? You know? Not yet, so he has to learn. So you have to learn this mantra. But if you're staying here, then you can associate with the pujaris, and then you can hear many times, and then you can more easily learn. If you have to go back to your country and not much association, it's a little difficult, but you try your best. But nowadays, you have the mobile, you can record also. If you want, those who want, we can chant again, then you can record the mantra, and then you can chant also in the same way. Okay? Any other question? Yes.
Hi, this is from the last section we talked about mantra shuddhi.
Yeah, mantra shuddhi, yes.
So you said that we should chant the Gayatri mantra
Yes.
offensively,
Yes.
following the same.
The Ma mantra and the Gayatri mantra, yes. Yes. We should chant offenselessly, yes. For example, the mind is very flickering. You have Gayatri mantra you received? Okay. As you have noticed also, you try to chant the Gayatri, sometimes the mind is going here and there, right? Going to wherever, thinking of so many things, except remembering the mantra. The mind wants to go everywhere. Even chanting the Ma mantra in the beginning stage, we try to chant, the mind is going to, well, even sometimes pujaris who are here, then they want to go to America. Although they're staying here, they're thinking, I want to go to America. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. But actually where we should want to go? We want to go to Golok, Vrindavan, and join Krishna there in the pastimes. But because in the conditioned state the mind is conditioned and he wants to still have some things of this world, or sometimes there's a little problem. One pujari took another pujari's dhoti by mistake, and then thinking, chanting Hare Krishna, oh, this devotee took my chadar, my dhoti. That is not good, I have to do something about that. Or so many things may come in the mind. But this is all things we should forget. But the mind is not so easy to control. But we have to avoid these offenses while chanting, and one has to chant purely the name, mantra shuddhi. So the pure mantra should be there, Shuddhanam. Shuddhanam should be there. The pure name. And that means not thinking of anything material. And then but remembering Krishna's beautiful form and Krishna's qualities and his pastimes. And the beginning, so it is difficult, but we should practice and pray. And then ultimately then Krishna will reveal himself. And then we can see his form, his qualities and pastimes while chanting. That is Shuddhanam. So we have to practice and we have to try to avoid the offenses. Anything else? Okay, then the next limb that is known as Ijja. Ijja is another name of deity worship. As we explained in the beginning, Nitya Seva, Murti Seva, Pancharatrik Vidhi, Aradhanam, Paricharya, all names of deity worship, Panchanga Puja in general, and even just the word Ijja. That refers to the actual seva of the deities in the temple from morning till evening. Ijja, that is a seva of the deities from morning till evening. That's what we'll explain tomorrow. Like waking up the deities, offering Mangal Bhog, offering Mangalatik, and all these things. That we'll explain in more detail tomorrow. So that should be according to the instructions of the spiritual master. It is according to the injunctions of the scriptures. And then the fifth limb that is known as Svadhyay, Sva-adhyayan. Adhyaya means to study. Sva means self. We ourselves, we have to study. Very important for a pujari, for a brahmana. So, as Prabhupada said, that every day we should, the devotees in general, he said, Prabhupada said, at least 1 hour you must read. And he was saying morning and evening. Morning Bhagavatam class, evening Bhagavad Gita. And throughout the day reading for 1 hour. My books, Prabhupada wanted that. And by doing that, then we have the proper consciousness, by studying. If you're not studying much, then it will be difficult to have the proper consciousness and to properly worship the Lord. But not only in Swadhyaya, it is not only the studying of the scriptures, but the good sadhana has to be there. Nicely chanting the 16 rounds, the Maha Mantra, nicely chanting the Gayatri, Sadachar, proper behavior with other devotees, dealing nicely with other devotees, serving those who are senior, exchanging realizations with those on the same platform, and then giving knowledge to others, to the newcomers, or to those who are not yet conversant with the absolute truth. Daya, Jiva Daya. So, being compassionate towards others and trying to help others. That is included in Swadhyaya. So Swadhyaya is studying of the scriptures, cultivation of devotional service. That is a very important aspect. So, is that clear? Any more questions? Yes.
Why is Mangalatik the important seva? And also Abhishekam and Deity?
Yes. Why Mangalatik is important? Yeah. Well, ultimately every seva is important. All the sevas are important. But getting up for the sadhakas, for the devotees, getting up early is important. Before sunrise at the Brahma Muhurta. Because at that time, it is more calm. The environment is more conducive. Mode of goodness is there. And the materialistic persons, they are sleeping at that time. So it is conducive for one's spiritual life to get up early, Brahma Muhurta time. And then after getting up, so it is actually required to acknowledge the existence of the Supreme Lord as a devotee, as a sadhaka, as one practicing spiritual life. And for that purpose we go to the temple and we attend the Mangal Artik. Mangal means auspicious. Artik in the morning, that is auspicious. So that is important. But even, for example, the Sandhya Artik, evening time, but the Sandhya time, that is important too. That is Mahaprabhu in the evening in the Nitya Lila, or even in this Prakat Lila when he came in this world, every evening he was going to Shiva Sangam when he was in Mayapur Navadvip, which is the highest realm. It is more high than Puri. Sometimes devotees think Puri, Mahaprabhu taking sannyas, that is the highest. But the highest is Shvetadip Navadvip, in the transcendental realm. So that every day in the evening is going to Shiva's Pandit's house. And there he's seated there on the Dibya Singhasan, on the divine throne, and the devotees are respecting him, they are offering artik to him. That is our Gaura artik. And actually according to Nitya Lila, it is in the evening time. It is actually around 8:30, 8:45 that the artik is performed. And then there is the kirtan going on after that, till at 1 o'clock at night. But because we are sadhakas, when we are not so advanced, the sadhakas, they have to take rest early so they can get up early. So therefore the artik is early, 6:30 or 7 o'clock. And then shine artik and then taking rest. But Krishna is hardly sleeping. Mahaprabhu is hardly sleeping. Yoga Nidra is there, transcendental rest, but that is like 1 o'clock. And the exalted devotees also, the associates of the Lord. But we have to get up, we have to take rest a little early so we can get up early and then we can engage in our sadhana. And morning time is the best for sadhana. Because once everyone is getting up, even the dogs and the monkeys and the birds and the people, and then they are doing their business, then it's becoming a little more difficult, for example, to chant during the day, to find a peaceful place. But morning time is the best time. So therefore that is an important, artik is in the morning, but still the other artiks are important also. Even one place Prabhupada is mentioning, of course mainly he was saying morning and evening program should be there. So many times only morning program is there, but evening program should be there also actually. And even in one place, Prabhupada is saying that all the devotees, they should attend the midday artik. There was a system, actually. But then, it was not practical. But Prabhupada, because he saw his Guru Maharaj and his mat of his Guru Maharaj, and noon time they're all coming together for artik. And then they were chanting Yashomati Nandana Brajabara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana, to be focused and dedicated to the Supreme Lord. So, but then amongst all these different seva, every seva is important. But amongst all of them, most important is after the Mangalatik, the Abhishek and the dressing of the deities. That is most important. Seva. That is explained by Krishna himself. He's telling Uddhav. And that is when you have personal deities, you must do the puja every day. If you don't do Sandhya-artik or Mangala-artik, or if you're simply chanting, no harm. But you must do the puja after Mangala-artik. That is most important. In a simple way or elaborate, that we will explain tomorrow, day after. Okay? Yes?
What about the strictness of time?
Strictness at home. Yeah, at home you don't have to worry too much. Let's say if the householders are there, and different functions are there. The friend is calling, okay, there's a marriage of my son, and then they have to attend. And the marriage in India, is starting 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, Ratri Bela, 12 o'clock at night. And then you have to attend the friend's son marriage. And then you come back at 1 o'clock. And then you cannot get up at 4 o'clock and do Mangalati at 4:30, not possible. Then you will sleep till 5 o'clock, 5:30, and then you have Mangalati at 6. And Krishna is understanding. He understands. He's most intelligent and he's most merciful. So at home you don't have to be so strict with the time. But you have to be regulated. And you have to do Mangalati every day. If not 4:30, then 5. If not 5, at 6 o'clock. Or let's say, for example, husband and wife are there, and they have a new child is there, a new baby born is there. And what they're doing, the babies? They're crying a lot, especially night time. And then the mother especially cannot sleep. And when the mother cannot sleep, she will wake up the husband. And then he can also not sleep. Then how they can do early Mangalatik? Then it will be later. And Krishna understands. His most understanding person is Krishna. And he's most kind, most helpful, most merciful. Then no problem. They took rest late, 1 o'clock, let them sleep till 5:36. And then okay, then they can wake me up, they can worship me, no problem. Like that, no harm. But you should not eat anything before doing the puja. Not that, okay, now you're getting up at 6 o'clock and then you have a tea early morning. No, like many Indians, they got the tea from the English when they came here, and they're becoming their habit. Drinking tea early morning, chai. They have to have the chai early morning. But no. First you have to get up, you have to do Mangalati, you have to chant, you have to worship the Lord, you have to offer something to the Lord. Only after Krishna is eaten, then you can eat something. Only you can take water before. After getting up, if you're thirsty in the summer, you can drink some water, but you cannot eat anything before your deity has eaten something. Before you have done puja, you cannot eat. So sometimes you have to wait till 8 o'clock, or sometimes longer. Usually I have my breakfast at 10:30. Because say when the temple I go home, I have deities at home, then it's 10:30 I have my breakfast. No eating before, only water. So we have to have some principles, so you must know the principles. And then, but you can adjust the time at home. You don't have to be so strict. And then lunchtime, in the temple it is 11 for Krishna and then 12 o'clock artik. But at home you're busy, and then the children are in school and they're coming back 2 o'clock. And then you can offer it 2 something and eat at 2:30, no harm. So you can adjust at home according to time, place and circumstances. But you must know the principles. Okay?
And how frequent should we dress the deities in home?
How frequent you should dress the deities at home? Well, first class is every day. If you cannot do every day, once a week. Once a week. If that is not possible, then every 2 weeks, like Ekadashi. But you should try to do once a week. Because even if you're staying outside and you're working, Sunday is chutti. Sunday is free time. You should try to do on Sunday. Not that you sleep late and then, what to do. You should try once a week. That is good if you have deities at home. But if you cannot dress, you have to do Panchopachar Puja. 5 articles you have to offer. That we'll discuss tomorrow and day after. Okay? Okay, so it is 7:20. Last question. One more question or? Yes. What is the difference between Pancharatrik Vidhi and Bhagavad Vidhi? So basically Pancharatrik Vidhi, so that means, actually there's one scripture called Pancharatra. So even Krishna explained knowledge to Lord Shiva and even to Narada Muni, there's Narada Pancharatra, which he follow. But he gave this knowledge to also Lord Shiva. And about how to, this Pancharatra means 5 kinds of knowledge. Also it was given in 5 days, it is explained in one place. And then so specific knowledge is given there about the Supreme Lord and about the process of devotional service. And then following the rules and regulations, mainly Narad Pancharatra is following the rules and regulations and then worshipping the Lord. But even there you must do hearing and chanting. But the main focus is on the worship of the Lord. That is Pancharatrik Vidhi. So that we are doing in the temple worship. But there you must also do hearing and chanting. Whereas Bhagavad Vidhi, that is more the hearing and chanting, the emphasis is on that. And then you may do some deity worship also. But you have more of hearing and chanting. And maybe some deity worship, but very simplified. So the focus is on hearing and chanting and remembering the Lord. Whereas in Pancharatrik Vidhi, the focus is on the worship of the Lord. But hearing and chanting is there also. Okay? Alright, so we'll stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki. So today is Ekadashi, of course. In Ekadashi we do austerity. We don't eat too much. So usually when we have seminar, we always, because deity worship is there's some prasad. But prasad we'll get tomorrow. Today you chant more. Okay? So Prabhupada also said 25 rounds. So if you haven't chanted more, then you chant more now. Srila Prabhupada ki. Hare Krishna.